Good evening, citizens of Portsmouth, city staff, invited guests, everyone in attendance tonight. I want to thank you for joining us here at the City Council meeting for the Portsmouth City Council. I will now ask if everyone would please, I also got to acknowledge, my colleagues on council, our city manager, Mr. Stephen Carter, our deputy city attorney, Mr. Derek Challenger, as well as our city clerk, Ms. Deborah White. Thank you all for being here tonight. I will now ask for everybody to stand for a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I will now ask all of my colleagues to please note your attendance electronically.
Seven members of City Council are present.
Thank you, ma'am. We have the minutes of a called meeting on July 7th, 2025, a called meeting on July 8th, 2025, and a regular meeting on July 8th, 2025. Do I have a motion and a second?
Move adoption. Second.
I would ask that everyone please vote electronically.
The minutes are adopted 7-0.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. And Madam Clerk, would you please read the speaker rules for this evening?
Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, City Council rules require a limit of up to 5 minutes to speak. As you approach the speaker's podium, you will notice a timer. At the beginning of your 5 minutes, you will see a green light. 4 minutes into your remarks, you will notice a yellow light. At the end of 5 minutes, you will see a red light here beep, and we ask that you conclude your comments at that time. While speakers have an opportunity to address council on matters of public concern, all comments should be made in a manner that respects the seriousness of the forum and should not be made in a belligerent, sarcastic, or demeaning fashion. All remarks shall be directed to the City Council as a body rather than to any particular member of City Council, staff, or the audience, and should be limited to matters that only the Portsmouth City Council can influence. A speaker who fails to observe this basic rule of decorum will be deemed out of order and not allowed to conclude his or her comments.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We're now moving on to item unfinished business, item 25-137, use permit, item B. And Madam Clerk, would you please read the resolution we are considering under this unfinished business item?
Yes, sir. Resolution granting the request of R. Brown for a use permit to operate an entertainment establishment on a portion of 2012 Victory Boulevard, parcel designated as 4806 George Washington Highway in the General Mixed Use Zoning District, UP 2503, deferred from the May 27, 2025 City Council meeting.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. And we do have Councilman Moody, sir. You have the floor.
Thank you, Mayor. I move that this item be deferred
And we need to know a date, sir.
to our last meeting of August.
We have a motion to defer this item until our August 26th meeting. Is there a second?
Second.
Any additional discussion? Seeing none, please vote electronically.
This deferral is adopted 7-0.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Moving
sir.
on to our city manager's report, item 25-212. And Madam Clerk, would you please read the ordinance we are considering for this item?
An ordinance accepting Family Preservation and Support Program funding in the amount of $9,248 from the Virginia Department of Social Services and appropriating said amount in the FY 2026 Social Services Fund for the provision of services to children and families meeting the eligibility requirements of the program.
Thank you, ma'am. Council members, we are in need of a motion and a second.
Move for adopt. Second.
Any additional discussion? Seeing none, please vote electronically.
This item is adopted 7-0.
Thank you, ma'am. Item 25-213, and Madam Clerk, would you please read the ordinance that we are considering for this item? And I see this has an item 1 and item 2. Are we voting on those together, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good.
It's actually 3. An ordinance one, accepting a Brian Justice Assistance Grant in the amount of $30,663 from the Virginia Department of Criminal Justice Services. 2, appropriating said amount in the FY 2026 Grants Fund. And 3, transferring $10,221 from the Asset Forfeiture Fund to the FY 2026 Grants Fund to serve as the local match for the purpose of purchasing equipment, supplies, and technology for the police department.
Thank you, ma'am. Council members, we are in need of a motion and a second.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Any additional discussion on this item? Please vote electronically.
This item is adopted 7-0.
Our next item, item 25-214. And Madam Clerk, would you please read the ordinance we are considering for this item?
An ordinance accepting home investment partnership program income in the amount of $26,700 and appropriating said amount in the FY 2026 Community Planning and Development Program Fund.
Thank you, ma'am. Council members, we are in need of a motion and a second.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Any additional discussion on this item? Seeing none, please vote electronically.
This item is adopted 7-0.
The next item, item 25-215. And Madam Clerk, would you please read the ordinance we are considering for this item?
An ordinance accepting Centera Cares grant funds in the amount of $42,064.08 from Tidewater Emergency Medical Services Council, Inc., and appropriating said funds in the Fire Rescue Emergency Services category of the FY 2026 General Fund budget for use by PFRES to acquire, store, dispense, and properly dispose of medication.
Council members, we are in need of a motion and a second.
Second.
Any additional discussion on this item? Seeing none, please vote electronically.
This item is adopted 7-0.
Thank you, ma'am. That concludes our city manager's report. Moving on to our new business items, 25-216, boards and commissions. And Councilman Hugel, sir, do you have any boards of commissions this evening?
Yes, thanks, Mr. Mayor. So we have several reappointments and one new appointment. Starting with the reappointments to the Behavioral Health Care Services Advisory Board, Dr. Darlene Washington. To the Clean Community Commission, Benjamin Foster and Ursula Murphy. To the Community Criminal Justice Board, Judge Brian Meals. To the Community Policy and Management Team, Shirley Edwards. To the Newport Development Authority, Stephanie Elliott Williams, Courtney Skinner, and Shonda Taylor. And to the Southeastern Virginia Alcohol Safety Action Program, Dr. Jacqueline Walker. For a new appointment to the Portsmouth Redevelopment and Housing Authority, Patrick Whalen. That concludes our board and commission assignments tonight, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman Hugel. Council members, we are in need of a motion and a second. Second. Any additional discussion on this item? Please vote electronically.
This item is adopted 7-0.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We're now moving on to item 25-217, items submitted by council. Are there any items to be submitted from my council colleagues? Councilman Hugel, sir, you have the floor.
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Mayor. Two items tonight. First, I want to congratulate and thank Portsmouth Public Schools, including teachers Mrs. Whitehead and Ms. South, who in collaboration with the Virginia Innovative Partnership Corporation completed the AirQuest Summer Camp this past week. We had a couple of student presentations regarding air quality in the city, and the program was very, very well done, so congratulations to them. And secondly, the mayor and I had the opportunity last week to celebrate Portsmouth Police Officer Khalid Scarborough, who was recognized with the Hampton Roads Chamber of Commerce Valor Award. Officer Scarborough confronted a rifle-carrying a person in downtown Portsmouth last autumn, and eventually chased him and arrested him with the help of some of his colleagues. His courage was recognized by this award. It's a pleasure to celebrate with him. Thanks, Mr. Mayor. That's it.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Bryant, ma'am, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mayor. A couple congratulations from me also. I want to congratulate 3 students who recently won the What Home Means to Me poster contest from the state of Virginia. There were 7 statewide winners, and 3 of them came from Portsmouth. So their names are Nyla Davis, Paige Marble, and Ayana Marble. So we honored them at our PRHA meeting last week for their wins. Thank you to the Social Services Department for a wonderful community day. It was great to see folks out there, lots of vendors out there. So it was very hot, but very well attended, and a great way for people across the city to come out and learn about services that are available. If you are looking for services available through social services, follow them on Facebook or go to the city website. So thank you for putting on that event.
Thank you, madam. Councilman Dodson, sir, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mayor. A week Saturday, I was involved in a moving vehicle accident on the West Norfolk Bridge that involved debris in the road and a sharp turn in it. The issue of debris in the road has been brought to the council on a number of occasions. I specifically wanted to reiterate my concern for the coverings that we have on our garbage collections that violates the law, that puts our city in violation of state law for those covers. And I wanted to ask, could we get some information on how soon we can have those covers over our garbage trucks fixed and installed? I'd like to stick around a couple more years. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Councilwoman Thomas, ma'am, you have the floor.
Thank you so much. I also just want to say thank you. We had a successful Rock the Block in Brighton, and I was able to attend and see the numerous city employees. Our city manager, Councilman Hugel, was also out there, and it was just great to get to speak with some of the individual citizens in those communities about what's going good, what we could improve on, some of their, just concerns, be able to address some of those concerns right away, continue to explain and how to use See-Click-Fix to our citizens. So that was new to some of them as well. So I want to encourage See-Click-Fix even more to our citizens. I think it's very helpful as we do Rock the Block. And if anyone wants to join the next Rock the Block, I'm looking on our website here. The next one is September 17th in West Haven. So if you want to walk with the city, it's always a great way to get out and meet neighbors in your community and also have your voice heard. The city manager is always present, so it's a great way to get those concerns directly heard. And also, I'm just scanning through the report back, Mr. Carter. I want to say thank you for providing some kind of process guidelines on what we do with our vacant structures, or the pathway for citizens to report or register vacant structures within the city as we work on cleaning and improving our individual neighborhoods. I think this is very important, so thank you for providing this information as well. And then I'm just going to take a little liberty here and just tell my son happy birthday. It's his birthday today, so I will be leaving out soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Councilwoman, and happy birthday to Miles. All right, got it. Councilman Tillage, sir, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to give a shout out to city staff. See-Click-Fix works. And I want to encourage every citizen to please take advantage of See-Click-Fix. I was bored this week, and I went out and rode across different streets across the city, and took pictures, and literally within 24 hours, the 5 issues that I reported had been fixed. And so that, I just want to shout out Ms. Bernadette for filtering those to the right department, but also the department heads and the workers of those departments, because they work tirelessly every day to address those. And if the community, if you all are not on SeeClickFix, please sign up for SeeClickFix. We can't be everywhere. City manager can't be everywhere. I know we may look like superheroes, but we're not. So we do need that assistance from you all. So please download SeeClickFix, report your issues, and they get done in a very timely manner. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. And certainly, I'd like to just share and acknowledge that on June 27th of this year, we lost one of our very important citizens here in the city of Portsmouth, Dr. Richard Singletary. You all may not know Dr. Singletary, but if you knew him, you knew he was somebody to know. Dr. Singletary was the owner of Singletary Gallery, an African art museum, which was housed in his home, displaying works of various artists, including the traditional African artworks collected by Charles K. Sibley. He was a renowned music instructor, teaching violin and piano. His students performed in recitals locally in his home and at the Chrysler Museum. He also was a very accomplished educator here in our city, worked with young people, and he was very loved and much respected. And on behalf of our city, I want to say to the Singletary family, he will be missed but not forgotten, and we hope to continue his legacy here in the city of Portsmouth. Thank you. Our next item is item 25-218, report on pending items. Mr. Carter, sir, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mayor. The report back should have been in your packets for this afternoon, so please take a look at that and let us know if there's any additional information that you may need. In addition to that, I have a couple of items that I'd like to talk about. I was going to talk about Rock the Block, but Councilman Thomas has already taken care of that. We'll report that there was a gas leak in our city earlier this afternoon. It was on the corner of Columbus and Jefferson, caused by some work from a third-party company and hit a gas line. That did cause some response in our city. We had to evacuate about 5 homes, I think it was, may have been more than that, but that situation has been rectified. The gas company has repaired the line. The fire department has been back into that area, make sure everything is fine. So everybody's back in their homes as of tonight. So just wanted to report that that happened. We responded appropriately and was handled without incident. The other thing is we've had this process, and we're just looked at. One of the things that happened tonight was a deferment of a use permit. On August the 26th is when we're intending to have all the language ready for the council to take a look at. But ahead of that, we're making a commitment that we'll get that language to the council at least 2 weeks prior to that, so that when we meet on the 26th, we'll have your comments already, and we'll be ready to execute something on the 26th so that we can move these processes forward. That's it, Mayor. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. Our next item is item 25-219, non-agenda speakers. And Madam Clerk, please read the speaker statement one more time.
Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, City Council rules require a limit of up to 5 minutes to speak. As you approach the speaker's podium, you will notice the timer. At the beginning of your 5 minutes, you will see a green light. 4 minutes into your remarks, you will notice a yellow light. At the end of 5 minutes, you will see a red light, hear a beep, and we ask that you conclude your comments at that time. While speakers have an opportunity to address council on matters of public concern, all comments should be made in a manner that respects the seriousness of the forum and should not be made in a belligerent, sarcastic, or demeaning fashion. All remarks shall be directed to the City Council as a body rather than to any particular member of City Council, staff, or the audience, and should be limited to matters that only the Portsmouth City Council can influence. A speaker who fails to observe this basic rule of decorum will be deemed out of order and not allowed to conclude his or her comments.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Our first speaker for this evening is Aaron Cody. Mr. Cody, sir, if you come forward, state your name and address, you will have 5 minutes.
Good evening, City Council. Thank you for your service. I am Aaron Cody, and my address is 2908 Tambark Lane. The last time I spoke to you, I provided information to rebut 2 criticisms of ranked choice voting. There are 3 additional criticisms. 1, voters will not be able to handle the change. 2, the change will cost money. And 3, it takes too long to get results. The first criticism takes the form of voters are too blank, fill in the blank, to accept and learn how to vote in a ranked choice voting system. This criticism insults me. Ranked choice voting is used in 1 state for statewide elections, 1 state for federal elections, 5 states for primary elections, 6 states for military and overseas voters, in 2 states recently, including here in Virginia, for party conventions, and in more than 50 localities, 2 of which are Arlington and Charlottesville. Are the voters in these locations just more open to change, smarter, better educated, better off economically, or in some other meaningful way different from voters in Portsmouth? Of course not. Will adopting ranked choice voting require voter education and engagement? Yes, of course. Did the Arlington and Charlottesville city councils adopt a method for all elections all at once so voters would feel overwhelmed by the change? No. They started with primaries so voters could get used to using the new method. Because change is hard, should not be a reason not to adopt a better way to do anything, including voting. The second criticism has nothing to do with how ranked choice voting works, just that implementing it will cost money. Okay. Everything the city does costs money. Updating the water and sewer systems will cost money. Investing in technology to increase public safety is costing money. Redeveloping High Street and the waterfront will cost money. If the cost implementing ranked choice voting is a discussion of priorities, then let's have a discussion about how important it is to be represented by elected officials with a demonstrated majority of support. Let's estimate how much it will cost, and let's see if it can be incorporated into a future budget. Again, because change costs money, should not be a reason not to adopt a better way to do anything, including voting. The third criticism assumes having election night calls for a winner is a requirement. It is not. Ranked choice voting official election results must and do still meet statutory reporting deadlines. That voters have grown accustomed to unofficial election night calls by media is unfortunate and irrelevant to official results for an election. I contend voters can also grow accustomed to having majority representation and preferring it to the alternative, which we have now. My next presentation will review examples of ranked choice voting being used in elections. I will be available after this meeting to answer questions, listen to comments, and collect additional criticisms I might have not addressed. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Our next speaker is Ms. Rachel Copeland. Ms. Copeland, ma'am, if you come forward, state your name and address. You will have 5 minutes.
Good evening, Council. Thank you for having me. My home address is 2317 Lloyd Drive, Chesapeake, Virginia. However, I own a business here in Portsmouth that's located at 3112 High Street. It's Cooper's Restaurant, and I came here tonight to give you guys an update because I stood before you 4 years ago asking for a variance to open my business. At that time, I had a partner, and he wanted to run it as a nightclub and lounge as well, which was polar opposite of me, but you do what you do as a partnership. I have since severed my relationship with my partner, and we now do not have any liquor there. We do not run as a bar. We are totally centered on God and family because I feel like that's what's missing in our country right now and is so critical. And so I wanted to give you an update, but I wanted to start with something that I think should be a call to all of us who own businesses here in Portsmouth or reside in Portsmouth, how many of you were aware that Portsmouth had a song? So I'm going to read that song to everybody, and I'd really ask you to listen to the words of it because I think it rings very true even today, and that we should be more committed to it because it would make this city a much better place. Portsmouth is for people, all kinds of people, a good place to live, work, and play, where we can help one another, treat each as a brother. The time to begin is today. Portsmouth is for people, all kinds of people. With our help, surely we will grow. Starting now, you are invited to work together united. If we reap, first we must sow. And if you try, you will find a world of joy waiting for you. And you will see why your peace of mind is delivered from the good that you do. Portsmouth helping people, all kinds of people. Just open your eyes and you will see that Portsmouth is for people, and with people helping people, it will be a better home for you and me, you and me. Portsmouth is for people, all kinds of people, a good place to live, work, and play, where we can help one another, treat each as a brother. The time to begin is today. Just watch us grow. You're sure to know that Portsmouth is for people. And those words should be embodied by every single person on council, every person who serves in any committee, everything to help this city be what it could be. I get asked pretty much on a daily basis why I chose to open my restaurant in Portsmouth, given some of the more recent events and things that happen. And I tell them because I love Portsmouth. I've met amazing people here. Miss Sheila, who's behind me, she is part of what I'm doing at my restaurant. We host Project Phoenix, and it is a drug and alcohol, PTSD, anxiety support group, much like AA, only it's a Christian-based group. We support it. We have it every single Monday night. Come rain, come shine, 365 days a year. We'll be open Monday nights at 7 p.m. to offer a Christian-based support and recovery program. We're also doing a thing on one Saturday a month. Every month, we're doing a movie night. 1 month it's for married couples, 1 month it's for singles, and 1 month it's for junior high and high school kids. It's a $5 admission to get in. We have snacks, $5 nachos, $5 hot dogs with a chip and a drink to go with it. Things that go outside of my restaurant. I love my restaurant. I want my restaurant to be known for good food. But when my restaurant is gone, I want my restaurant's legacy to be the good I did in this community, not that I made money. And I think if more businesses adopted that and reached out, I also have a Feed the Children program I do. I print these cards up by the thousands. I take them to the elementary schools, to the YMCA, to social services, to churches. I give them out. Whoever has this card, the counselor, whoever's giving this card out, on the front of the card it says 1 free meal. On the back of the card is a space that counselor can give this card to that child. If there are 10 kids, I don't care how many, 20 kids in that household, they can write 20 on it. The parent can bring this card to my restaurant any day we're open, any time of the day. They don't have to buy a single thing, and every child in that house would get a meal. So to me, it's more about serving this community, serving God, serving families, and getting back to the basics and making this community better. I do have one criticism, however. I pay a ton of tolls. If I lived here in Portsmouth, I could have release from those, some release from those tolls. But as a business owner, you can't. And there are other things too with and I've spoken with Mr. Glover before with regards to the high taxes. And I understand that Portsmouth is predominantly owned by the government and the government doesn't pay taxes. But when you have businesses that want to do more community stuff, that costs us money. And there's not a lot of relief for us as business owners to be able to find grant money, because I'm not a 501c3 and can't get those kind of grants. So I would love to see something put forward to make it possible so that it would encourage more businesses to be willing to do more community outreach, community investment, and that type of thing, because it's more than just about our businesses. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
And I do have copies of the Project Phoenix, as I throw them all over the floor, Project Phoenix flyer.
That's okay if you hand them over to our Sergeant at Arms. And Councilman Dodson, sir, you have the floor.
Yes, I wanted to thank you so much for your service to the community, but I don't mean to belittle it at all, but I'm mostly thankful for your fried chicken. It is marvelous, and if I can encourage your business in any way, y'all got the best fried chicken I've ever had in my life.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilman Tillage, sir, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mayor. Ms. Copeland, first of all, I want to thank you for coming tonight to speak. But second of all, I think the testament of the work that you're doing in the community speaks volumes. You go by your business any Sunday, it is packed. I've been there quite a few times. I enjoy the food, enjoy the people that are there. It's a great atmosphere. So I think the work that you're doing, like you said, it goes beyond the food, and people are taking notice to that. And so we thank you for that. In regards to the toll situation, that was a General Assembly, piece of General Assembly legislation. And so that would be something that you would need to speak with your member of the General Assembly about in regards to adding language for business owners or residents of other cities to be able to contribute, to be able to benefit from that toll relief. So if you know who your General Assembly member is, you can reach out to them. If not, we can make sure you get connected to that person.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Bryant, ma'am, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Ms. Copeland. I wanted to let you know I recently shared your Feeding Children program with social services in a community meeting where they were brainstorming ways to connect people with food insecurity with resources. So would love to get in touch with you after and see if you've been able to connect. But it was definitely a program that stood out in my mind, and I wanted to make sure that you knew that social services is plugged into that now too. So thank you for doing that.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. Our next speaker is Mr. David House. Mr. House, if you would come forward, state your name and address. Sir, you will have 5 minutes.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council, my name is David House. My address is P.O. Box 3002, Portsmouth, Virginia. I will use 2 properties that were cited for violation of weeds to make my case. You have both of them in front of you. It seems like there's a double standard within the city. A violation identified and cited by the city is not a violation when identified by a citizen. The violation lists City Code 2326 that states it's unlawful to permit any weeds to grow to a height exceeding 10 inches on any land. The city goes on to state, all premises and exterior property shall be maintained free of weeds or plant growth on development property, which include residential and commercial, as well as vacant land in excess of 10 inches in height. All noxious weeds shall be prohibited. Weeds shall be defined as all grasses, annual plants, and vegetation, and other trees and shrubs. I wrote a C-Fix ticket stating noxious weeds and growth throughout the property on a property on Bainbridge Avenue, including the chain link fence. I cited the same nuisance code 23-26 in the exact same wording that the city used, yet the inspector confirmed that the overgrowth of grass around the structure was as reported. The inspector also verified that the lawn did not exceed 10 inches in height. Nowhere did the inspector mention the weeds. The city cited code section 17133, which applies only for closure of vacant properties. It doesn't apply here. Legal counsel said there was no legal basis to require the property owner to remove the overgrowth given the structures were occupied status. As a result, our department does not have the authority to require the property owner to cut or remove the overgrowth. Chapter 26 nuisance says it shall be unlawful and shall constitute a nuisance to permit any grass or weeds to grow upon such land or lot to a height exceeding 10 inches or to permit any debris to remain at any place upon such land or lot. Weeds of 10 inches or more shall be presumed to be detrimental to public health and a public nuisance. It shall be unlawful for the owner or occupant of the land or lot within a city to permit weeds or debris to remain upon such land or lot in such quantity and condition as to constitute a fire hazard. All weeds are hereby declared to be detrimental to public health and a public nuisance and shall be cut and removed. All debris is hereby declared to be detrimental to public health and a public nuisance, and shall be removed from land whenever it's necessary to do so in order to effectively abate the nuisance. Under Building and Structure Maintenance Code, which applies Section 1733, the duties of the owner. The exterior of premises and all structures thereon shall be kept free of all nuisances, and any foregoing shall be promptly removed and abated by the owner or operator. The items prohibited hereby shall include, but not limited to, brush, weeds, obnoxious growth, or other natural growth. Premises shall be kept landscaped. Lawns, hedges, and brushes shall be kept trimmed. Under the streets and sidewalks section, under Section 3231, visibility and clearance at intersections. For protection against traffic, no material impediment to visibility shall be placed, allowed to grow, erected, or maintained on any parcel as to restrict the sight distance at any intersection and any public street. Under the Virginia State Fire Prevention Code, 304.1, waste materials, the accumulation of waste paper, wood, hay, straw, weeds shall not be permitted to remain on the land. I provided you with 4 separate codes that prohibit growth on property, yet the city says they have no legal basis to enforce removal. This is exactly why citizens are frustrated when engaging with the city. The citizens put all their efforts to get something done. It's like the inspection and zoning department go out of their way purposely finding ways not to enforce the code. Residents deserve better. I say, look at the pictures that I've given you and asked, do you want to live next door to the property? The 2 violations, the notices that I submitted to you, the second one specifically says to cut all weeds, grass, and overgrowth throughout the parcel. It doesn't say it's allowed. This is a city document, a city violation that the city cited a property for. And now they're coming back to me and said they can't do that.
Thank you, sir. Our next speaker is Mr. Daniel House. Sir, if you would come forward, state your name and address. You will have 5 minutes.
My name's Daniel House. I live at 114 Gillis Road. What else was I supposed to say?
Yes, sir.
That's it?
That's your name and address.
Oh, okay. I thought there was something else.
No,
Okay.
sir, you have the floor.
Okay, so we've, appreciate your, I got a letter from Mr. Tillage for the last correspondence when I was here, but I'm here because I've got another structure that's a vacant structure. It's 53 Afton Parkway. It's the old bank, Craddock, one of the original buildings. Still there, it's vacant. According to Google Maps, it's been vacant since 2012 and had painted white wood on it. I did a FOIA request because because it's got broken glass, the windows are ajar with the wood, and all the peelings paint's peeling on the wood. When the inspector came back and said the case was closed because the inspector inspected the property and the windows were boarded up at the time and the photos attached to reflect the windows. The windows on the second floor do not require boarding, and there is no record of a vacant registration permit. So I guess they were trying to school me that I didn't know what I was talking about. So page 3 was the FOIA, and y'all can read that on your time. But page 4 is section 17133, deals with closures and care of structures. And it basically says that the owner of the building shall secure and lock, and therefore after keep closed and locked all doors, windows, and other openings, whatever they may be, okay, into such building as so long as it remains vacant or unoccupied. There's nothing in there that says anything about the upstairs not complying with that. And it says all service shall be maintained of free broken glass, which I provided that in the C-Click fix. That's on page 4 and 5, but they didn't include it as a document. And it says excessive peeling or paint or other conditions reflective of deterioration and inadequate maintenance. Boards and other approved materials and methods used to cover the windows and doors and the structure shall be custom fit, fashioned to fit smoothly into the window or other openings. And they shall be painted to match the color of the structure. And at the end, it says nothing, there is nothing in that code that states that second floor windows do not have to be boarded up. And so you go page 5, and then there's the pictures that I listed, and you can see the windows that aren't painted, and some of it looks like they're broken out. And the last page was alarming because the last line, it says that the inspector didn't find anything and closed it out. But yet, within a minute, there was a complaint attached. So I went to FOIA officer, he couldn't find it, nobody could find it, and they're like, we don't know why it's there. So another property that I was trying to get a look into on the same road as 58 Prospect is 48 Prospect. So I did a FOIA request, and I got back a response that there is no permit that requires for the boarding up of a property. Well, that's not true. City code requires that. So y'all talking about getting a structural manual together. Make sure you print all the code that applies to structures so everybody's on the same page. Because I get responses back. I got one yesterday on a violation I wrote up 3 times. The first time it was for debris in the yard. And I wrote it up, they're like, no debris found, no picture was provided. I wrote it up again. It sat for months. So then Saturday I said, hey, what's the status? This is still in the yard, all this, and I listed it. Come back, and the response was, the violation was corrected to the inspector's standards. Not that it was removed according to 2326 nuisance like David just said, but according to his standards. So we've got inspectors that aren't following codes, that are generating their own code or their own interpretation, okay, as a basis of not doing anything. I wrote up another property. It had 5 vehicles in the yard. Nothing. First closed with nothing. Second time, I was like, hey, what's the status? It's still closed. Oh, well, we did an inspection, and yes, there is more than 1 vehicle with a car cover on it, but we have no way to determine if those undercover are inoperative enough. If the city code allows for 1 and there's 5, there has to be a remedy. Okay, you just can't say, I can't ask them, or I can't send them a letter to ask what the status is. So we need to do something better as a city.
Thank you, sir.
And C-Click Fix is broke.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Dodson, sir, you have the floor.
Yeah, Mr. Manager, you and I had a discussion on this, and you said you were providing some remedies for this. Is this a good time for you to comment, or would you like to defer that to a future meeting?
I would refer that to a future meeting. However, Mr. Peters setting up a meeting so we can talk to the House brothers.
Thank you, sir.
Councilman Hugel, sir, you have the floor.
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Mayor. So Councilman Tillage already provided some evidence that C-Click Fix is not broken. It may not be as responsive as you would like it to be, but it's not broken, so just to correct the record. So, Mr. Manager, you and I talked the other day about the enforcement task force that you're working on. These don't seem like unreasonable interpretations of what's going on. I mean, weeds are growing in pictures, probably they should be cut down. Windows are not covered up, probably they're supposed to be covered up. Could you use these maybe as examples as you're working with that enforcement team to ensure that as we're going out to enforce, that we're looking at city code to make sure we're enforcing correctly?
Mr. Carter, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you, sir. Just as a point of record, we look at each one of the complaints, regardless of who make them. Yeah. And we address each one of them separately. So, as you stated, absolutely will be part of the process.
Thank you.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Moody, sir, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to thank the House brothers for, we get emails from them almost weekly pointing out violations that somehow aren't registered as violations. They aren't addressed. And I know I've recently sent one that's really egregious to the city manager about illegal dumping. But I don't know if our philosophy is still complaint-driven, but if it is, hopefully we can raise that bar on it being complaint-driven, and hopefully we can be proactive as a city, because I see fences that are in deplorable condition around the city, and I know darn well we have inspectors that ride by these things on a daily basis. Hopefully we're not waiting for a neighbor to complain or one of the House brothers to send it to our attention. If our inspectors see it, hopefully they're doing something to report it and for it to get fixed. So I look forward too for that feedback, Mr. Manager, because we are falling short in addressing some of these violations throughout our city. But thank you again, Dan and David House, for your diligence in pointing these things out.
Thank you, sir. Our next speaker is Ms. Sheila Joseph. Ms. Joseph, as you come forward and state your name and address, you will have 5 minutes.
Sheila Joseph, 139 Grand Street, Portsmouth.
Go ahead, ma'am. Your time has
You want to
started.
give me extra 10 minutes?
No, ma'am.
I'm just joking. Sheila Joseph at 139 Grand Street, Portsmouth, Virginia. I was pretty much talking about cutting trees in this city, and I know y'all told me about click fix or whatever, and I told you I don't know how to do it, but I don't even want to learn how to do it, because my pictures that I have taken, no one have took the time to look at it but Mr. Moody out of previous times. And so when I report about the trees, I pretty much went to the appropriate people and let them know where it's at, show them my pictures. So I don't provide my pictures because it's my time and my money. So I'm not here to work, but the work that I do, I volunteer for the city, the citizens, everybody in this city. When I come and speak for me or my issue, I'm addressing the issue for me and others. One of the things I talked about, how safe and unsafe it is to have trees hanging over the street. Well, I'm also looking at the safety and disrespect to anyone that live in this city. I can tell you some areas. When you're riding in a community, and I'm not trying to be funny when I say it, no disrespect, go down Manley Street, you see behind on Temple, houses newly built. The man took and put brand new fences, and the same issue that was there before those brand new houses, grass grew up. Tell me if I'm wrong. If this is the city fence on the other side of the owner, and the grass is growing on their property, why not the city go by their city codes to do the same thing that they're addressing us? Also, concerning the cleanliness in our city, I do a lot of community outreach, and a lot of people confide in me about different things. And I said, together we can make a difference. That's the name of my organization. But I don't go around begging people for money. But we got nonprofits and different other people do get grants funds. We all need to join together. It ain't about money. Clean up our city. I talked about the trees on Rodman. Everybody that goes down that street, when they go to Churchland, they go there. When they was fixing the bridge, I brought it out how the trees is growing up around, and you can't hardly see the property when you're coming back to Portsmouth. And I talk about some other issues addressing our streets, and I see we are getting it done, thank God. Because remember, I used to talk about how my granddaughter come out of DC, and she said, "Why is it so bumpy?" And I said, "I'm going to talk to the city. It's the streets. It's not the vehicle, but it's wearing and tearing our vehicles." I thank you for all the things that you're doing in this city, tearing out pipes, putting in new systems, gas lines. I'm just, talking to you all, showing you that I appreciate you. But when you give people a fine for where your ditch is at and your telegram pole and your water meters at, that's the city property, not mine. $150? My husband got sick because he's hard-headed when I talk to him and say, "Don't cut that grass, that belongs to the city. Let them come out." If you leave it alone, when I call, they do come out and cut the grass and clean the ditch. But a lot of people don't give them time and go on them like I do. So my husband got sick with COVID that year. And sure enough, they send a letter, $150. I tell the citizens, we need to start charging for $150 to cut you all grass, because you got the right of way where the telegram pole, and we have easement, but you come in and do things on our property. So have a good day, and I knew it was going to be short.
Thank you, ma'am. That concludes our speakers for this evening. If there's no other business to conduct for the good of the order, this meeting is adjourned. Be safe, everyone.